and welcome to the season premiere of 101 Sports. I'm Kurt Leston.
And I'm Joe DiRienzo. We are back and better than ever for our 5th season, so let's get right to this week's starting 5.
The players involved in the New Orleans Saints bounty program were allowed to return to the field after a 3-judge panel granted their appeal against Commissioner Roger Goodell's suspension. Joe, what do you make of the panel's decision?
You know what? As of right now, I am fine with the panel's decision because I want to see this evidence that the NFL has. The NFL claims to have 50,000 pages of evidence.
Seems like a lot to me.
Seems like a lot, right? Show it to someone. Show it to the players who they're accusing. It's a legitimate thing, Kurt. They have a quote-unquote handwritten note from Jonathan Vilma saying that he was guilty of all this. They typed it out and submitted it to evidence.
Okay,
that is not evidence.
Joe, whether it's typed, handwritten, mailed with a pigeon, I don't care. Listen, my issue is with this whole thing is that you still have Sean Payton who was suspended. You still have Greg Williams suspended indefinitely. So clearly something wrong happened here.
Right.
And the players took part in that. They could have stepped up and said, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this. They didn't do it. They need to be punished.
No, they need to be punished when they show the proof that they were actually a part of it. That is my concern with this. I believe that something happened. But if Goodell has all this evidence, show that he has the evidence. It's simple.
Joe, it's a wrong decision. They shouldn't play.
Legendary former Browns and Ravens owner Art Modell passed away last week at the age of 87. While considered to be one of the most influential owners in NFL history, Modell is most commonly known for moving the original beloved Cleveland franchise to Baltimore. Kurt, what do you believe will be the legacy of Modell?
Well, when I think of Modell, the first thing I think of is Monday Night Football.
Exactly.
And I think of the fact that he understood the importance of bringing football on television to get more viewers to a national stage. Football wouldn't be where it is today, which is probably the most popular sport.
We get to thank Modell for all the television coverage that football gets. He was one of the pioneers of getting football on television. And like you said, Monday Night Football, I don't know what I'd do on Monday nights without Art Modell coming up with that.
It would be a lot more boring, certainly. Yeah,
it would. And sure, maybe he was the original LeBron James for Cleveland. Maybe. Did they... Cities get upset when you take the team away from them. Sure.
I mean, rightfully so.
Yeah, rightfully so.
But,
it was sad when Seattle lost the Sonics, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, he's done a lot of good for the NFL, and he shouldn't only be remembered for the negative.
He's done more good than bad, and that's what needs to be remembered.
Exactly.
Sure. Andy Roddick surprised the tennis world by announcing that this U.S. Open would be his last tournament, after which he would immediately retire. Joe, what is the state of U.S. men's tennis now that Andy Roddick is gone?
You know, he was on the downhill at the end of his career. He wasn't as great as he was in the top 10 in his previous years, but U.S. tennis is going to miss him. He had character. He had something extra that he brought to the court. He got the crowd behind him. U.S. tennis doesn't have that yet.
They need a character, Joe.
Right. They do have guys coming up, though. Ryan Harrison is 20 years old. He's already in the top 100. He's working his way forward. Took a set off Andy Murray in the Australian Open. He's an impressive guy. Got to get his temper under control for him to compete. Another guy's like
part of that is appealing as well, Joe.
It is appealing, but tennis is such a mental game. You've got to be under control of your own emotions.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know what? It'll be interesting to see what happens, but they certainly need characters, and they need to get good fast.
Exactly. The Washington Nationals have said all season long that they were holding 24-year-old ace Steven Strasburg to an innings limit after coming off of Tommy John surgery. After 159 and a third innings pitched, Strasburg is done for the regular season and playoffs. Kurt, are the Nats making the right choice here?
No, Joe. No, they're not making the right choice. Joe, listen.
I'm intrigued. Why not?
Listen, when you have a chance to go deep in the postseason and make a true playoff run and make a push to win the World Series, you go in with all your horses. You go in with everything you have.
Even if the guy's elbow might fall off.
If that means winning now and I can win a championship, yeah, I'm going all in for it.
When you've got your 3 best starting pitchers are 24, 25, and 26 years old.
I don't care about their age. They're not Steven Strasburg, Joe. Kurt, he is the ace of that staff. He needs to be there.
He is the ace of that staff, but he's going to be ace of that staff for 5, 10 years down the line.
And what if they? And then Joe, what happens in 5 to 10 years when they don't win the World Series? And this was their best chance, Joe.
No, it's not. They're not mature enough yet.
Joe,
they're going to win farther down the road. Trust me. We'll come back to this later.
I look forward to that one. We'll see how that goes for you. Shaquille O'Neal may be retired from the NBA, but he was recently invited to play a couple games upcoming season with Fuerza Regia, I hope that's right, of the Mexican League. Now, Joe, we know Shaquille O'Neal to be a man of many nicknames. If he's going south of the border, give me some nicknames for him.
If he does this, which I don't really know if he will, I think he's fine with the cushy job at TNT, but if he does this...
Which he's awful at, but continue.
I can't wait for these nicknames. I'm looking forward to the Big Sombrero.
Oh, I like
he likes the big nicknames. So he's going to be the Big Sombrero or the Big Chalupa.
Ooh, I like that.
Something like that. Or he's going to go the Shaq route. He could be the Shaqacabra, if you will, like the Chupacabra.
There you go.
I don't know. It could be interesting.
You put a lot of thought into this. You should send him a little email, let him know what's up. Listen, Do you remember the show Kazam? I'm keeping it simple. El Kazam, baby. That's all you need. It's perfect. A little blast from the past.
It's a little too
you're
simple
out.
for Shaq.
But I'm going to write him. He'll like
thinks
it.
a little
He'll like
outside
it.
the box.
I know. But listen, we all have a change of heart sometimes. It's time to take our first break, but when one-on-one returns, I'll be joined by our MLB experts to debate what chance the Nats have of winning post-Strasburg. Stay tuned.